I don't know if you ever hear them say, take two, but I have over half the class gone today, and I thought I'm going to start taking these videos, and if you're gone, or if you just, want to hear about any of this stuff for the second time around, I can show them to you, okay? Or I'll upload them or put them on Google Classroom. But what prompted me to do this, I was at the gym last night, and I saw one of my former students' business card, and I'm going, I have students make a business card. You can just go to Vistaprint, or you can go to Microsoft Word or anything. If you just Google business card template, you're all going to do that, okay? When I did this thing for the business, I had less than half the people turn it in, and I go, we need to do a better job having everybody participate and either do a mock business or a mock business card or a resume or a job application or something. And I told myself, I'm going to start doing a thing like Marketing Monday or something where we do marketing, and I'll share with you like some of my side hustles, which, I didn't realize you can't really see them up here, but as long as I can see them, because I also realized today when I put this shirt on, which is the Anchorage Segway Tours, I realized I should share with you some of this stuff because maybe one or two people is interested in starting a business, and I probably have more kids that go into marketing than anything else. So even when I was back in high school, I started a plowing business. And I'm going to share with you the businesses that I made money on, and I'm going to share with you the ones I lost money. So maybe you won't make the same mistakes I did. Like my plowing business, I thought at the time, man, I'm in Alaska, it's dumping snow, I'm making bank, I'm making so much money. But there's a whole chapter in the marketing book about risk management, okay? And I don't know if I told you about my snow plowing business. In high school, I loved spending time in my truck. I had a big booming stereo and everything, had a snow plow on it. I'd go out and I'd usually start by telling people in my own neighborhood, $10 to plow their driveway, $20. And then I realized, kind of like we talk about place utility, the places I should be plowing aren't my neighborhood because we were just middle class. I mean, my parents had 9 kids. My dad was a plumber. My mom worked at Sears. Now by the time my dad passed away, I say he was a plumber, but he had a mechanical contracting business. He did really well. How do you do that? By starting his own business, not working for someone else, okay? So I always mention that by the time he passed away, he probably had 20 rentals, 2 airplanes, a cabin. He did pretty good for I say plumber. He's really a mechanical contractor, pipe fitter. But I do the same thing. I talk about my sisters who had a haircutting business. They were cosmetologists. They learned to do it in high school. They didn't have to pay for cosmetology school. The key was they opened their own business. And my older sister that actually started the business, and you don't only just make money by cutting hair, you make money by selling product. The markup on that's incredible. You make money by, offering stations to other people working there, like they pay to have a station to work there. People, tanning beds, conditioners, permanents, this, that, nails. There's big money in beauty, okay? And I say the key there was for them to own the business. But my plowing thing, I kind of learned the hard way. I made really good money going around plowing neighborhoods, but then I got kind of greedy and I started plowing out at the airport because this place that said they had airplanes and they wanted them plowed around all the airplanes, and they said, we'll pay you $50 an hour, which I thought, oh, $50 an hour, it sounds great. But then I was making that, like when I'd go plow people's driveways, I went to the really nice neighborhoods and they'd have a pull-through driveway and they say, how much you want? And I say, $50. And most of them would just say, okay. And then many of them would go, nah, it's too much. And I go, 40, 30. I go down about $20. But when I started working at the airport, my dad said, what happens when you back into one of these airplanes? Your insurance does not cover a car hitting a plane. Airplanes are very expensive, okay? Then I had this ski wheeler business where it was like my first invention where I made this little ski. I have one of them over there by the computers. It's a little ski that goes on the front of jet skis so that you can lift jet skis up and like roll them, put them in the back of your truck or take them down to the beach or something. And it was like my first invention. The second one was a thing I made for a bicycle trailer that I think there's a picture of it here that went on a wheel that went on the bicycle trailer and make it into like a baby jogger. And in other countries, they use bicycles and bike trailers for like a means of transportation. That's how they get around. They go to the grocery store, they fill the trailer, they take their kids, they put them in there. So the market for that wasn't great in the United States, but it was good overseas, you know, where there's the company that I merged with on it had a real global market, okay? Then when I became a teacher, I started thinking of things I could do in the summertime, since I didn't have to teach and work in the summertime. So I started a window tinting business. Window tinting for cars mostly. We do some residential, but if you want to make bank, window tinting, you know, you go in and have your car windows tinted. It's about $200. If anyone wants to learn how to do it, I did it for many years, and at $200, and the cost for the tint is about 10% of that. So that's $180 profit. Now you do 3 cars a day or 4 cars a day, you know, you're talking $600 to $800 just in profit. So that was a good business, but I didn't like doing it after a while. My whole summer was consumed with just, you know, having to be tinting cars. And I thought, I want to find a job that I can make a decent money at, but it's fun also. And that's where I say, like, this Anchorage Segway business, you know, like doing the Segway tours up there in the summertime, it's a little bit more fun. For a while, I also sold ski boats, like tournament ski boats, you know, the kind that you'd ski the buoys, and then got into like wakeboard boats and wake surfing boats. You know, my son's got one of those now with the fancy wake surfing. It didn't really make great money on that. The boats just got too expensive. And then another side gig I've always done, like I say side gig or side hustle, buying and selling cars. Sometimes you win on that, sometimes you lose. My wife was the other day just scolding me for this truck I just bought, and it needs a brand new transmission, but I'm having LCSC fix it at probably a third the price of what you could do it for otherwise. But I think I've had 117 cars, and I've lost money on 3. So I have a book with all the different cars I've had. I'm down to like 9 right now, but I've been selling off some of them just because it gets to be a pain to store them. The Segway business, this is what got me thinking to share this with you today. The Segway tours. People go to Alaska mainly on tour ships, and they pay about $100 to go on a 1.5-hour tour where you run them around on Segways, and you know, they get off the cruise ship. It's usually a really good clientele. Like, people that aren't a cruise ship got money, right? They get off the cruise ship and they're just holding their money up. You know, what can I spend this on? It seemed like a great idea. Alaska had 1.3 cruise members, like people like on the cruises, passengers, I guess you'd say, 1.3 million cruise ship passengers in 2019. In 2020, they had 0. COVID. That's, could you imagine owning a cruise ship business where you got millions of passengers and all of a sudden you go to 0 because of COVID? I mean, I'm sitting there thinking I'm losing business because I'm not doing these tours. And I go, could you imagine tourism in Alaska is like the #2 business to oil? Okay. And that's kind of why I do a little bit with the tourism up there in the Segway on the summer. Because I like going to Alaska. I like showing it off. I like, you know, taking people on these guided trips. We have these off-road Segways, and they got big, huge Tundra tires like on the plane out there. Then the other thing, the flyboard, that was kind of a flop. There's a picture of it over there with, that's Mr. Nicholas's son on the flyboard on the front of the newspaper. The flyboard, you stand on it, shoots you up in the air, and it was good. It was a fun thing to do in the summertime, you know, to get paid to teach people how to do this flyboard, but a lot of liability. People get hurt and they want to sue anymore. It's like you used to get hurt, you're like, oh man, that sucks. Anymore, people, they get hurt a little bit and they're like, we're going to sue you. You know, so that didn't last long, but it was fun. And another thing that's kind of interesting about that, when the Lewiston Tribune did that front page article, you can't buy that kind of advertising. You know, and they wanted to do an article about the flyboard, and I didn't realize they were going to put it on the front page of their newspaper. You know, I mean, you can't even buy advertising on the front page usually, okay? And then also, you know, same thing with my Who pitch. On the, yeah, do it quietly, please. On the Who pitch, you know, there's a couple articles there, Lewiston Tribune, but for the Spokesman Review, where Spokane did that article on there, we're filming, so try to be a little bit quiet. Spokane did that article on the hoop pitch on Hoop Fest weekend, when there is, you know, the world's largest 3-on-3 tournament, and they put that on the front of the paper. If you were to buy that kind of advertising, you know, I know even a full page in the Lewiston Tribune is $1,200. Full page in the Spokesman Review is $10,000. They did it for free on the front page. Okay, so sometimes there's a difference between advertising and publicity. You all realize that, right? Publicity is just like, it's free, like on that. Advertising, you pay for it, but advertising, you have complete control of the message. On publicity, you don't always have complete control of the message, okay? Have you guys ever done public service announcements? I thought one of the teachers was having kids do PSAs or public service announcements. I'm trying to keep this right about 10 minutes. And then I talked a little bit about my hoop pitch, you know, and the marketing of that. And then the new one I'm working on starting, I had my drones in here, but I'm really passionate and interested in flying. I don't fly as much anymore in the planes. My son takes me up in his plane once in a while. I like being around aviation, but I've really kind of taken a passion to these drones. So I had like 3 of them in here yesterday. We were talking more in tech class, but I noticed that when people just go buy one at Costco, they don't know what they're doing when they take it home and to fly it. So I put mine up for sale, and my real intentions were getting people interested in it and getting people to buy instruction. So I put, if you buy this drone from me, I will give you, you know, like 3 hours of instruction on how to use them and stuff, because there's a lot of stuff you don't learn just from the instructions, you know, on different things like that. So that's kind of what prompted me to kind of get into the drone instruction. It's kind of like flight school, but for drones, okay? Would any of you guys like to learn how to fly a drone? Keep in mind, you do it for free. I provide the drones, I provide the time here in class to do it. Raise your hand if you go, I think that'd be kind of fun to learn how, because I go, oh, that's a few, that's maybe half, which I go, oh, no. I mean, how can you go wrong there? It's free, okay? I'm done. I just wanted to kind of go over that. My signature on my emails and stuff is, the happiest people don't have the best of everything, they make the best of everything. They make the best of the situation.